this is Heather Schultz. I'm doing my case study for EDL 850 School Law, Module 16, Internet Use Violations. Category 1, Problem Identification and Analysis. What do you know? For the case study, I'm using I instead of the principal's name because I'm assuming that I'm the administrator in that role. I know that I have a teacher that is not succeeding in truly reaching her students. I know that she either can't figure out how to implement changes or refuses to implement changes that have been suggested to her. And therefore her situation is not getting any better for herself or her students. I know that my first concern is and must always be the students and the families that we serve. The families that we serve in this school district are educated, they are wealthy, we have doctors and lawyers' kids, and our school will reap benefits from this, but also we could have some negative impacts of that, especially if parents are unhappy. I know that my teacher feels threatened. I do not take that lightly. I wouldn't want any teacher to feel like students were threatening them, even if it was in a joking manner. I know that this school is respected, and so am I, so that should help me. I should have a pretty good rapport with the families in this school, and that will be to my advantage in problem solving. What do I need to know? I need to know the exact resources I have in the school district. I need to know if we have a technology coordinator that is able to help me investigate the website and figure out where it came from. Can they help me figure out if it came from our school or is it possibly from a private residence? With that, do we have a resource officer that can help us? They could assist us in questioning students or help us know where to go if we know for a fact that it didn't come from inside the school. Do they know where we go from there? If it's from a private residence, can we still find out who did it? What are Ms. Walker's reasons for not following my suggestions? Is it that she doesn't agree, or is that she's just so overwhelmed she's not sure where to go? Does she need a different approach? How is her rapport with the kids in the classroom? Does she have a good relationship with students, or is there just a complete disconnect? Do we have a policy that discusses cyberbullying or inappropriate use of technology outside of our school? Does it encompass staff members? Is it just student-to-student bullying, or would it have to go to authorities because it's a student and a staff member? Those are all things I don't know. Problem identification. There are two things going on. We have frustrated students acting out in an inappropriate way because Ms. Walker is unable or refusing to make changes in her class to make it less stressful and to improve her rapport with her students. I have we have an intelligent first year teacher. She's dedicated, but she's struggling to succeed in winning her students and her families over. She feels threatened from what happened, from getting that message, and she needs support in both of those areas. Category 2, proposed plan of action and strategies for implementing it. I would meet with the technology coordinator, get to the bottom of it, see if we can find out if this message and this site were sent from anywhere in our school. If that is not the case, then I would want to bring in our resource officer, find out if he could figure out how, what do we have to do to find out if it was from a private residence. I would take the time to meet with all the classes that Ms. Walker has to discuss the details of what happened and the severity of it. I would probably take the guidance counselor with me so that if I need an extra set of hands, I have someone with me. I would also leave it up to Ms. Walker whether she wants to be in there or not. I would see if we can glean anything from the meetings, explain that if whoever sent the message and made the page comes forward, we could discuss it in private. Repercussions would be less if they would come forward instead of us having to continue to investigate it. I would question Randy Franks since Ms. Walker had mentioned that maybe he was the ringleader, but I would probably do it more in, hey, I know that you're computer savvy, a lot of the kids look up to you, and more question him like, how would someone do this? What do they have to do? What are the steps to doing it? And just kind of see where that goes. Watch his body language, see how he reacts. I wouldn't just accuse him. If we can find out the source of the message in the web page, we of course would consequence them. And then finally, I would meet with Ms. Walker, tell her the steps we've taken, assure her that we are trying hard to find out who did it, and then set her up time to observe classes of teachers who are more seasoned than her, who are doing a good job at connecting with their students, who are able to still challenge them, but also can handle and balance the workload that they're giving the kids so that the kids aren't overwhelmed. Category 3, resolve the issue promoting the success of all students. What is best? Do the students feel like they're being heard with their concerns about their class? Are they receiving challenging instruction that is engaging? Are they understanding the ramifications of what was done, even if it was a prank? Do they empathize? I think that my approach, would make sure that these things are happening. I would make sure the kids understand that I know that there have been issues in the class and that they are frustrated. I know that she is challenging them. That's part of the problem. They feel too challenged almost. Make sure that they can understand how that might feel to get a message like that and not know where it came from. And I would also, for future, give them a way to voice their frustrations in mature, civil ways. Let them know we're here for them. They're the reason we are here. If we do find out who's responsible, are they able to make a better decision in the future? That's important. Category 4, debrief the problem. What were you thinking, feeling, and valuing as you respond to the problem? I was thinking about how I would feel as a parent if my child was in Miss Walker's class. Kids put a lot of pressure on themselves, especially kids in higher level classes. It's pretty frustrating when teachers don't realize how much they're putting on kids. I was feeling how disturbing it would have been for myself to open a message like that. And I worry about what students meant and who would do it. I was also trying to put myself in the position of the students. These are bright kids who put a lot of pressure on themselves, and how could they vent their frustrations in a more productive way? I was also thinking about how to resolve the issue in the most positive way and put a plan in place as we move forward. What issues are still unresolved or open to further investigation? I don't know exactly what will be found upon researching where the message and web page came from, or exactly what will come from the investigations. If it was done from our school, what do we need to do to our systems to better protect that from being able to be done in the future? I have no way of knowing whether my ideas for helping Miss Walker will work or not. She's a first-year teacher. She needs support. New teachers, a lot of times they quit before they even really get started because they feel overwhelmed and unsupported. What are effective consequences? What's going to work. And I also don't know if we are going to get backlash from parents who are possibly overprotective of their children. Category 5, Standard 5 reflection, demonstrate a sense of integrity and ethical behavior. How did I demonstrate a sense of integrity, ethical behavior, and serve as a model for all members of the school community? I had to see both sides of the situation and the multiple pieces to the puzzle. I listened to the concerns of the students and their parents about the workload and instruction methods of Miss Walker. I also took what was done to Miss Walker very seriously and worked to find answers. I worked to give her support. We cannot just give up on our young teachers who show promise and work ethic. It takes a long time to find what works for you as a classroom teacher. I think that my working to solve those issues in all areas of the situation, by doing that, I am showing all members of our school community that I work diligently to make our school safe, productive, and caring. Category 5, Standard 5 reflection. How did I, as the building level administrator, treat people fairly, equitably, and with dignity and respect? By talking to each class myself with a guidance counselor, I did not single out a class of kids that Miss Walker thought maybe the threat came from. I treated them all the same, despite suspicions. I did not reprimand the young teacher for not doing what I had asked. Instead, I found another way that might work better to reach her. Give her time to observe teachers that are successful in reaching their classes and have a good rapport, yet still challenging them by giving her time to do that. I'm showing her that I understand and I support her. I also did not just accuse the student that she thought may have been the ringleader. I instead met with him in more of a brainstorm kind of session to see what he thought, since he knows a lot about computers and how it would be done for someone to do this. If this conversation lent itself to finding out who did it, that would be great, but if not, then I didn't ruin my relationship with that student and possibly the family. How did I, as the building level administrator, demonstrate a personal and professional code of ethics that inspires others to higher levels of performance? I would like to think that by respecting all people involved in the twofold issue and trying to do all of the following: support a new teacher, give students a more productive outlet when they are feeling frustration with a class, and listen to the concerns of parents and students and actually do something to help, that my staff and school community would work hard to be problem solvers, be proactive, positive people that want to find a solution that is fair and considers the feelings of what is best for all.